Hi, everybody. This is Adam Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology. It is Monday, October 8th, and I'm making a series of videos this week while I'm gone on a yoga and meditation retreat because there is just a huge lineup of planetary transits happening between now and the end of the week. And I want to make sure that people who regularly tune into my channel or my write-ups on my website or Facebook or whatever, that you have something to accompany you through these transits. So we've looked already at the new moon in Libra with Venus retrograde, as well as Mercury opposite Uranus, but there's also Venus square Mars. So that's what we're going to look at now. So you should be able to see this. This is Tuesday, October 9th on the screen right now. Let me step it forward by just one day. Here we go. So on October 10th, which is Wednesday of this week, Venus retrograde will square Mars. So Venus in Scorpio retrograde squaring Mars in Aquarius. This is happening just as the moon is moving through Scorpio, first showing its face in the sky. You have a intense square between Venus and Mars, which is a standoff essentially between the masculine and feminine. Venus is in the superior position, meaning she's exerting a kind of pressure on Mars, the feminine sort of exerting a pressure on Mars, but she's in Mars's sign. Mars has some power over her. It's quite a grudge match between the two of them right now. Venus in Mars's sign is wanting to confront things, wanting to go deep, wanting to look at the truth, wanting to get down to the truth, wanting to remember, recall, or reflect upon the truth of the matter. And for there to be some kind of reform or change in relationships, some shift in our values that reflects having a deep, real, honest confrontation. This could also be a creative conflict. Mars and Venus can be quite sort of sexual, erotic, creative in nature. So, you know, the desire to paint something new, to write something new, to, develop deeper level of intimacy in your relationship, some of which may require that you break through certain kinds of, boundaries or barriers, especially where there's sort of reluctance or denial or avoidance. So this can help us sort of, get into it and find some kind of creative value in the process. Venus-Mars squares are also, in a sense, there's a back and forth. So, don't be surprised if there's, a little bit of push and pull in relationships, in the workplace, in any kind of relationship right now, and sort of saying like, this is the way. Mars is asserting something, and Venus is sort of saying like, I don't know what I think about that. I feel like you're being too domineering, too dominant, too overpowering, etc. And so Mars may acquiesce some, but then Mars may also push back and say, I feel like you're being too needy, or I feel like you're demanding too much or not looking at yourself honestly enough. And so it's a bit of a back and forth. There's enough, when Venus is in the mix and it's retrograde, Venus wants to create a deeper level of harmony, love, and affinity between things. But in order to do so, has to walk this sort of narrow path. Now, there's one more thing that can be said probably in this video, which is that from the new moon all the way up to this space, that's October 8th through the 10th, a lot of planetary action happening between 15 Libra and 15 Scorpio, which is called the Via Combusta. The Via Combusta is sometimes called the burnt path or the singed road, or there's different ways of putting it. It's a territory of degrees in the zodiac that have a lot of the bounds, this particular degrees that are ruled by certain planets of these signs are the bound rulers are, a lot of them are the malefics, Saturn or Mars, difficult planets. And then you also have Libra as the fall of the sun and Scorpio as the fall of the moon. So the lights are kind of in this sunken valley of the year. But it's also a place that was traditionally associated with the Great Flood, with ruination of the earth and rebirth of a new civilization, that kind of mythic flood motif. This section of the zodiac is also intimately related to the dead and dying, the the bridge across which spirits can pass, this sense of there being a connection to the spiritual world. Of course, we celebrate things like Halloween and the Day of the Dead, and this kind of bridge from one world to the other. So it's a loaded place. The kinds of conflicts we're getting into with this Venus retrograde, the kinds of transformative dynamics in relationships are all a little bit deeper and darker than usual. We're ready to face the truth at a deeper level, and also at a much subtler space that things can come forward and speak and reveal themselves. So the unconscious, which is sort of the land of the dead in a metaphorical sense, coming forth. Really powerful during this stretch of zodiac. It was traditionally called the Via Combusta. So I was going to mention that in my new moon video, but I forgot, so I plugged it in here for everyone. So you can think about this Venus-Mars square as also taking place within the orb of the new moon, as the moon is sort of emerging in Scorpio and in this Via Combusta path. It's a very deep and mysterious and a little bit treacherous place. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what stories emerge in the news as well. So watch for this Venus-Mars confrontation on Wednesday of this week. And I'm going to keep going and make one more video on Sun square Pluto. Okay, take care. Bye.